Welcome back to Box Him Up. So Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is happening. It's a madness. So let's see what Nikisa Badarian had to say.
Power is obviously the last thing to go. So obviously AJ has a ton of power and he's still fairly young. Mike Tyson, much more vicious of a knockout artist than Anthony Joshua, much older than AJ, but that was a risk that Jake was willing to take. Francis Ngannou, amazing MMA fighter, very powerful man, not an experienced boxer, right? A lot less experienced than Jake Paul. So if people were comfortable with Francis getting in there with AJ, Jake, who is now 13 fights in, plus one amateur fight, a lot less than AJ, but much more than Francis Ngannou, I think we're very comfortable with it. Ultimately, it's not a fight that I want Jake to do. It's a fight that Jake wants to do. And that's a discussion we've had at length. And he feels very confident about where he is in his career and his chances of upsetting Anthony Joshua.
Well, Jake Paul has been very strategic in his career and the type of opponents that he chooses to face. He's a clever guy and he's up for the challenge. When I beat AJ, what will they say then? Can't be because AJ needs money. So it will be the excuse. I am not 100% sure this fight goes as everyone expects, which is a devastating loss for Jake Paul. Just like Master Knowledge says, fun and games aside, everybody pushing his narrative for this fight should be ashamed of themselves. Irrespective of the market and demand, Anthony Joshua would seriously hurt Jake Paul. In fact, he could possibly kill him. Then what happens to the sport? This is circus. Please stop this. Well, I don't necessarily agree with Master Knowledge. Why? Because Jake Paul has been very strategic in his career and the type of opponents he has faced. Earlier in his career, he was just facing sports stars from different, not even anything related to boxing. The more he advanced in boxing, he started facing former MMA stars. And recently, he's now been facing boxers who are not necessarily active but on the fringe, like former legends or really, really early prospects like Tommy Fury, and retired boxers like Mike Tyson or the Mexican. I can't remember his name right now. And now he's going to face the British Giants. Joshua is not the same. Joshua is not the same guy that he used to be a few years ago. And he would have seen how Dubois was destroyed by Usyk, literally completely destroyed. And he would be asking himself this question. He'd be asking, am I that guy anymore? Have I completely lost it? And the answer for him would be clear. If he couldn't defeat Dubois, and in fact, he was dominated. Dubois beat Joshua so bad, he was like a child. It was like completely different weight classes. That's how it looked. It looked unfair, that kind of beating that Dubois delivered on Joshua. So after seeing the Usyk fight, he posted something very cryptic. This is what he posted. Shout out to Matchroom Boxing for all you have done for me and continue to do for me. Long may you reign supreme and keep giving fighters opportunities to become champions and make boxing great. Long may you reign supreme and keep giving fighters opportunities to become champions and make boxing great. 12 years ago, I signed with you, and 12 years later, I will throw my last punch with you. Last punch. 12 years is this year, I believe. Royalty and loyalty is a perfect match for great. Good. A toast to another 100 years of Matchroom Boxing. He's always classy. And to finish on this, if I could start from scratch, I wouldn't change shit. So yeah, Joshua's obviously, he's always classy, so he's shouting out to Matchroom. But he suggests that he's about to retire from boxing. And really, there's only one fight that people would love to see, him against Tyson Fury. That would be great. But with all this talk of the Jake Paul fight and the timing of when he posted it, he literally posted it just a few days after the Dubois fight. It shows you that he was thinking to himself, wow, I couldn't compete with Dubois, and Usyk just completely destroyed him. And he believes when he was at his peak, he would compete with Usyk. He believes that he could knock out any of these guys. He believes that he could defeat any of these guys. But seeing that, he has questioned himself, and he has decided that maybe it's time to quit. Not quit, but hang the gloves. Sorry, I misspoke there. But I believe it has nothing to do with his physical body. He's still a physical specimen. He's still a beast, and in the gym, I believe he performs 100%. But for Anthony, his problem is mental. His problem is mental. Something changed, and he's not been able to recover. I don't know what it is, but something changed mentally after the Klitschko fight, and I've talked about it before. But something changed, and from then on, he's never been able to recover. And this fight against Jake Paul is very likely to happen. This is what Nikisa said. It's a fight that Jake wants to do, and that's a discussion we've had at length. And he feels very confident about where he is in his career and his chances of upsetting Anthony Joshua. Yeah, Jake Paul has been strategic, and say what you will, he is not stupid. At least when it comes to his career, he's played it very well, and he's been able to really get a lot of people interested and make lots of moolah, right? And here is another chance for him. He's seeing also Anthony Joshua, where he is in his career, and he's decided to gamble, to throw in his dice and see if he can get a fight with Anthony Joshua. We'll see if it happens. This is what Nikisa Bedarian also said. The fight can absolutely happen. Two of AJ's losses came against Usyk. Usyk weighed 220 pounds for those fights. Jake is not Usyk, but Jake fought Tyson at 228. So size-wise, we can get comfortable. We're actively discussing it. Yes. Jake Paul has looked huge in his recent fights. He has looked very, very big. He has looked like he's bulked up over the few years, and he actually looks pretty big. Yes, Usyk, when he fought Anthony Joshua, he was only at 220. Jake Paul has fought as high as 228, and he definitely will not have problem going up in weight to heavyweight. It will not be an issue for him at all. But the question is, will the fight be domination by Anthony Joshua? I am not 100% sure from what I have seen. But the last time Joshua fought a quote-unquote gimmick fight against Ngannou, that was a gimmick fight. He did very well. In fact, he was exceptional. He completely destroyed Ngannou. So, might he destroy Jake Paul again? Well, it all depends. It all depends on what kind of AJ we find. Because AJ, we never know with him. As soon as he shows up and his mind is not there, boom, he never performs. But if he shows up and he is there, he will perform. And although I don't think he will go for the Jake Paul fight, the only reason he went for the Francis Ngannou fight is because there was a lot of history there. Recent history. Ngannou had just been in the ring with Tyson Fury, and at that time Joshua was on his journey trying to get to Tyson Fury. So there's nothing for him to gain by facing Jake Paul other than moolah. So is that really enough motivation for Anthony? He's always seemed like a guy who's on a journey, always targeting some kind of belt, undisputed or something like that. But this one would just be a nothing fight, and I'm uncertain whether he will choose for that type of fight. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and until next time, friends, I shall see you.